Over 40 and starting a YouTube channel? Well, here's how you find your niche and thrive. So, you want to start a YouTube channel, right? But you're stuck on one big question like, what should it even be about? Well, today I'm going to walk you through how to figure that out. Even if you're over 40, even if you're not creative, and even if you feel like you're starting late. This is the exact process I used myself, and by the end of the video, you'll have real clarity and your first content ideas to actually do some recording. And don't expect perfection. Give yourself grace and forgiveness throughout this process because, first and foremost, you've always got to forgive yourself. And maybe, secondly, perfection really is the devil's language. We must find things that really kind of give ourselves the opportunity to grow, that requires patience, and that requires a growth mindset that we are and we continue to be a work in progress. So, when I started this journey, I was in the exact same spot that you are in right now. I had ideas, sure. I had years of experience as a teacher, a professor. I worked with people, mentored, guided, and turning this stuff all into a YouTube channel, well, kind of felt like that was a different world. There were so many techie things, for instance, that kind of scared me. I was afraid to even put my face on film, even though hundreds of people saw my face every single day in a school type setting. So I asked myself three simple questions, and it changed everything. Number one, like, what do you know? Two, what do you enjoy? And three, what do others value? And there's so much to gain by asking yourself those simple questions. And heck, if you can't name those things off the top of your head, then you know what? Pull out some notebook paper and give yourself a chance to journal a little bit. And if that's not enough, think about the things that really interest you, the things that maybe motivate you to be the best version of yourself, the things you know, the things you share. Let's continue. When you really think about this a little bit deeper, you're going to find your channel idea. And just because you find an idea doesn't mean the whole idea that you're going to stick with. It might require a little bit of digging. And maybe just like riding the bicycle, it might even be a process of falling off and skinning your knee a few times, right? But getting back up and trying again, because let's face it, over time, you will gain confidence, you will gain clarity, and you'll really develop a passion for being on the camera, even if it's your phone camera, and talking about the things you love to talk about. So, let's talk about some ideas what you could really share. Like, what do you know? Maybe you're a retired teacher. Maybe you're thinking about retiring and maybe you want a profession you can maybe retire into. YouTube can really provide that, right? Maybe you want to inspire others who are learning in the teaching profession. Maybe you've got a completely different craft, like wood carving, for instance. The fact is, you know how to explain tough subjects because this is who you are. Also, there's another part. Consider what you enjoy doing. Maybe you enjoy fly fishing, making fishing lures, maybe metal detecting. There is so much cool stuff out there that I'm always shocked to find what people do, whether it's hiking, whether it's hiking specific trails. We're always in a sense of learning, right? So maybe you love history or cooking or organizing your life. Those are things that really are out there that people want to learn about, and they want to learn from authentic people just like you. Finally, remember, what you take for granted quite often is something that other people really can value. People search for how to content like every single day, and it could even be one of the most popular search topics you'll find on YouTube. So, Your topics could be something simple. Your channel can be just like Simple Civics with Mrs. B. Organize your life over 50. Backyard gardening for 60 and above. The walking club. Hey, hiking the Appalachian Trail. The list is absolutely endless, but it starts with a passion and a willingness to put yourself and test out the idea of being on camera. That simple. And maybe the most important key to starting on YouTube and starting your recordings is you don't have to be perfect. Remember, we said grace, forgiveness, and a growth mindset. Knowing that you don't have to be perfect, what you really need to do is take your first step. If you've got a cell phone, you've already got all the tools you need to get started. So, your voice, your presence, your experience, that's your niche. Let's begin with that. You'll refine it as you go and start by exploring. Test, talk about what you would have searched for like 10 years ago. And that's going to be a trail you're setting for other people to follow. So, if I can give you a practical step to get started today, as in right now today, not tomorrow today, it would be 3 things you know well. Hey, maybe it's teaching children how to read at an early age. That's a superpower and a gift you can give the next generation. Maybe it's coin collecting. Maybe you have a niche for going to garage sales and finding spectacular deals. Maybe you have a specialization in antique piggy banks. The list is endless. But also make another list of 3 things you like talking about. One of those things might be politics, and oftentimes politics is a great thing to stay out of. That is, unless you really, really have a passion for being clear on politics. Number 3, 3 things people ask you for your advice. That happens quite a bit. As a teacher and as an online professor, I get that question all the time. So the question you might ask yourself is, you have those 3 topics now. What you know, what you like talking about, and the advice people ask you. And quite often, the 3 of those things tend to overlap almost like a Venn diagram. And if you think about how a Venn diagram operates, you'll notice that there could conceivably be an area where all 3 of those diagrams intersect. That could be the first steps of finding your topic and then digging in a little bit deeper. I want to remind you, seriously, don't overthink this, because the fact is, you're learning, you're testing, but most importantly, you're taking action. And one of the most important things you can do is take action. These things, like a YouTube channel and getting in front of a video, they aren't major steps. They definitely aren't a moonshot. What they are instead is just having the willpower to prop up your phone for the first time, press play, and talk. And you'll find rather quickly that you'll adapt to being on camera, and then you can start listening to your voice and giving yourself grace in the process, because this is critical. So, what's one thing you might want to make videos about? Drop it in the comments. I read them all and I'd love to give you feedback or share a few starter video ideas. And I will even share some of my ideas, things that I've tested before, like educational platforms, like self improvement guides, like online teaching. I've done all of those things, and I'm not afraid to share what I've learned and what I know with the audience. But make sure you're leaving comments below. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe and hit like, because that helps this channel grow. And the series I have that I'm working on right now can be delivered to your inbox, and you'll even get a notification when the next upload is ready. Hi, my name's Brian. I'm a professor, a YouTuber, and someone who didn't grow up with all this tech stuff. But I learned it anyway. You got a story, you've got a voice, and you can start a channel. It starts today.